Hey guys, in this video, let's talk about all the best ways to redeem your Chase Ultimate Rewards points for maximum value. Chase points are my favorite currency right now, and they're super valuable and very flexible. And whether you want to redeem your points for cashback at just 1 cent per point, or for travel at 2 cents per point or more, I'm going to show you a ton of real examples and exactly how to redeem your points for maximum value. So let's get started. The first way to redeem your Chase Ultimate Rewards points is for cashback. This can be in the form of statement credits, direct deposit, or gift cards. To do this, we need to log into Chase Ultimate Rewards. Then you'll select which card you want to use, and for this example, I'll use the Chase Freedom Flex. By the way, you can combine your points between your Chase cards, which is an awesome feature. But even better than that, you can combine points between family members. So after you selected which card you want to use, you're going to want to go to this menu and then simply scroll down to cashback. So here it tells me I can redeem my 50,000 Chase points for $500 in cashback. Now, if you scroll down, you can see this can be in the form of a statement credit or a direct deposit. A direct deposit goes straight into your bank account, and a statement credit will pay off the balance on your credit card. Although this isn't bad compared to other banks, this is usually the least valuable way to redeem your Chase points, as you'll only get 1 cent per point. Instead, using the Chase Travel Portal and transferring your points to Chase's travel partners can usually give you a lot more value, and it's not hard to do. So I'd only recommend you do this if you really need the cash, because your points can be worth a lot more if they're used for travel. The next way to redeem your Chase points is through the travel portal. This can give you a better value than redeeming your points for cashback, but you'll need either the Sapphire Preferred, Sapphire Reserve, or the Ink Business Preferred to get more value for your points. Normally, points redeemed through the travel portal are worth just 1 cent per point, but either of the preferred cards give you a 25% higher value, and the reserve card gives you 50% more value for your points. I recommend the Sapphire Preferred for most people since the annual fee is lower, and it allows you to transfer your points to Chase's travel partners. And I'll put a link down in the description if you need this card. But now let's actually walk through how to use your points through the Chase Travel Portal and how that compares with cashback and transferring your points. All right, so back over in Chase Ultimate Rewards, I'm gonna start by using my Freedom Flex, and I'm gonna hit the menu, and we'll scroll down to travel. For this example, we're going to look at hotel options, so we'll hit hotels. All right, so say you wanted to take a trip to the beach this summer. I'm gonna search for Huntington Beach hotels in August. So here we can see there's an option for the Hyatt Regency Huntington Beach, and we're gonna hit choose room. All right, so as you can see, the cost per room is $496 or 49,600 points. If we head over to Hyatt's website, we can compare costs with Booking Direct versus the travel portal. We can find the same room on the same dates for $537. So the Chase Travel Portal is just slightly cheaper than Booking Direct with Hyatt, and that's not always the case. So if we want to book this room, we'll need 49,600 points, which is a value of just 1 cent per point. But now if we go back to Chase Ultimate Rewards and switch to my Chase Sapphire Preferred card, we'll see that my 50,000 Chase points are now worth $625 through the travel portal. Meaning that instead of needing 49,600 points, I'll need just 39,600 points. This is definitely a more valuable way to use your points than cashback. But as I mentioned earlier, transferring your points to Chase's travel partners is often the best way to get a ton of value, usually getting you at least 2 cents per point. That being said, there are some times where the travel portal will be your best or only option to use your points. Chase has a good list of airline and hotel travel partners, but sometimes there's no hotel availability in your destination, or you just need to book a specific hotel or Airbnb property that isn't a Chase travel partner. And for that, you can use the travel portal, getting 25% more value for your points. Chase also allows you to book cruises and activities with your points, which is probably going to be one of the only ways to book cruises with your points. Another occasion where the travel portal might be beneficial to you is when booking economy flights. For example, if I wanted to book this United flight for a Huntington Beach trip, it would cost me $45 one way or 5,600 points, giving me a pretty bad value of about 0.8 cents per point. But if I was to book that same United flight through the travel portal using my Sapphire Preferred, it would cost just 3,592 points. So as you can see, there are some times where using the travel portal can be beneficial, and this is most often with economy flights. However, when you book through the portal, there are some downsides. If you need to cancel, this process might be a lot more complicated since you're booking through a third party and not direct with the hotel or airline. And your booking typically won't earn points or count towards status with the hotels or airlines either. And the biggest downside is that your points are capped at a certain value. Instead, you could transfer your points to Chase's travel partners, getting at least 2 cents per point most of the time. But there are plenty of ways I'll show you that could get 3, 5, or even upwards of 10 cents per point. So the best way to redeem your Chase points by far is going to be to transfer them to Chase's travel partners. So now let's talk about how to transfer your points and when that might be a good idea for you. But something very important to know is that you'll need one of the Sapphire cards or the Ink Business Preferred in order to have access to these travel partners. Without one of these cards, you cannot transfer your Chase points. We'll start with Hyatt since that's one of the easiest ways to get a bunch of value for your points. So back to our Hyatt property at Huntington Beach. The final cash price is $537 per night. If I were to redeem for cashback, that would be 53,700 points. And over to the travel portal, we saw that the same property would cost 39,000 points to book. But now back over at Hyatt's website, we can hit book with points and we can see how many points it would cost us if we instead transferred our points to Hyatt. And the same room that would cost $537 only costs 25,000 points per night, giving us a really good value of over 2 cents per point. That means our points are worth twice as much as cashback if we transfer them. And if you were earning 5x on the Freedom Flex, for example, it's kind of like you're now earning 10x because you're redeeming your points for twice as much. And this is why I almost always recommend to transfer your points for travel instead of using them for cashback. So if we wanted to transfer our points to Hyatt to book this property, it's really easy. So first we head back over to Chase Ultimate Rewards. And then in the menu, we're gonna scroll down and hit transfer to partners. If you scroll down, you can now see the list of Chase travel partners. And these are all the airline and hotel options you have to transfer your points to. So next you wanna scroll down to Hyatt and hit transfer points. You will need an account with Hyatt, but this is really easy and free to set up over on their website. You can then enter your member ID and hit continue. Then you select the number of points you want to transfer. In this case, we want to transfer 25,000 points for our one night, and then hit continue. You'll arrive at a confirmation page and you'll just hit confirm and submit. And once you're done, your points should show up over in your Hyatt account in about 30 seconds. So back over at Hyatt's website, confirm that your dates are correct and you can now book that room. You'll then confirm a few details, hit submit, and you've locked in an awesome 2 cent per point value on your Chase points. But this is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Chase points redemptions. So let's take a look at a bunch of those examples. I'll move really quickly through these, and just remember that depending on your dates, the airports you choose, and many other factors, these numbers can change a lot. First up, let's look at a United business class flight to Orlando. This is a one-way flight, and as you can see, most of these business class flights are gonna cost somewhere around $1,000, maybe as low as $600 or $700. But if we switch to booking with miles, we can see we could spend as little as 50,000 points for the same flight, giving us a really good value of 2 cents per point. If we wanted to redeem these flights, you'd go back to Chase Ultimate Rewards and transfer your points just like we did with Hyatt. In Chase Ultimate Rewards, you scroll down to transfer to partners, and then you select United Mileage Club. Just make sure you have a United account ahead of time so you can go through the booking process with your points. For another example, let's look at a Hyatt property in Orlando. Here you can see this Hyatt property costs $180 per night, or 9,500 points per night, giving us about 2 cents per point. Now let's look at some Hawaii point redemptions. Right off the bat, there's a great redemption with the Andaz. It costs an average of $1,150 per night, but just 40,000 points. That's about a 2.5 cents per point redemption. We also have the Hana Maui Resort, which is about $600 per night, or 30,000 points, which is 2 cents per point. And the Hyatt Regency Maui, which is $764 per night, or 25,000 points per night, giving us a really good value of about 3 cents per point. Looking at a quick example of flights to Hawaii, there are a ton of options to use your points to get to Hawaii. I found this example of a United flight to Hawaii for just 17,400 points one way, which isn't the most amazing cents per point redemption, but it's probably one of the cheapest ways to get to Hawaii using your points. Okay, now let's quickly look at some point redemptions for Europe. And the first option is to redeem your points for some first class flights. Now, first class flights are almost always going to be one of the highest redemption values, but it will cost you a lot of points. So over on Singapore's website, we can see that there's a first class flight from JFK to Frankfurt for $9,613. But we can book it using just 97,000 points, giving us an insane value of 9.9 cents per point. Finding availability for first class flights can be really challenging sometimes, but I just wanted you to know that there's some awesome redemptions for first class flights. All right, so looking at some Europe properties now, we have the Park Hyatt in Paris, which usually costs 1,395 euros, which is about 1,500 US dollars. But we can book that property for just 45,000 points per night, giving us an awesome 3.3 cents per point. And over in London, we have the Hyatt Regency London, the Churchill. This is a great property. I stayed in it, by the way, and the service was amazing. Rooms in the summer are around 573 pounds per night, which is $710 US. But you can book them with just 25,000 points per night, giving us an awesome redemption of 2.8 cents per point. And next up, I want to show you some upper class flights over to Japan. Here we have a business class flight from LAX to Tokyo on February 14th. Cash price is $4,148, but since we can book ANA flights through United, I went over to their website looking for the same flight, and I found that same flight for 88,000 points, giving us an awesome redemption of 4.7 cents per point. In general, any business or first class flights to Asia are going to cost a lot, so getting a flight like this for as little as 88,000 points is a pretty good deal. I think you could hunt around and find some lower cost redemptions, but again, this is just an example to show you of what's possible. And looking at some Hyatt properties in Tokyo, we have the Andaz, which is 99,000 Japanese yen per night, which is about $764, but it costs just 30,000 points per night to book, giving us a really good 2.5 cents per point redemption. So when it comes to redeeming these points, there's one thing I want you to know, and that is that this can take quite a bit of work to find availability sometimes. So the best way to find some of these redemptions is to be as flexible as possible or to book literally as far in advance as possible. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I felt like banging my head against the wall after searching for award availability on all of these travel websites to make this video. So it really does take some effort. But as you get more experience redeeming your points, you'll find that it's not very hard, and you get more familiar with how it all works. But my number one recommendation to you, especially if you're new to redeeming points, is to start with Hyatt properties. You'll almost always get an incredible value, and they have a great brand. It just so happens that I made a video on how to redeem your Hyatt points for maximum value, and I recommend you check that out here. And if you want to compare travel credit cards, I did an in-depth review on all the major cards here. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you next time.